What do you guys do now on a Friday night when you're not working? Because it's pretty crazy at my house. Maureen is in a recliner, and then I'm in a recliner 6.5 feet away just to be safe. And then this conversation takes place.
What's really sad? What's really sad?
I say,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
He says, you want to watch Netflix? And I say, you okay? That's the whole night. That's what happens. That's the entire night at my house.
At our house, it's kind of funny because Jackie's mom, Betty, she goes to sleep pretty early, about 7:30, and then we stay up pretty late till about 7:45.
Now, Steve, Jeannie and I have a situation kind of like yours. We go through the on-demand menus. Mm-hmm. You want to watch this? No. How about this? No. This? No. I'm like, they're going to have to extend this quarantine so I can watch a damn movie.
You're right. Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, you can get these customized puzzles now where you send a picture in and it's a puzzle that you put together from the picture that you send in. So I sent in a picture of us sitting in the recliners. So we would actually have to get out of the recliner, make the puzzle, put it together. So we'd have a picture of us sitting in the recliners, and we'd be tired and we'd go back to the recliners.
I can't process all that, Steve. That's so complicated. Where did it all start?
Do you guys have that issue where you wake up in the morning, you don't know what day it is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if Jackie didn't tell me today was Tuesday, I would not have known.
Right.
But she tells you that every day.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
but I don't. Yeah.
Everybody's going through the whole. I don't know what day this is. It was Steve. Do you watch church on Sunday?
Oh yeah.
That's the only day I know what day of the week it is because it's Sunday.
It's funny.
I will tell you. Remember, we talked about the books.
Yeah.
Behind the bookcases, our deacon was actually giving a sermon, and apparently he's a World War II buff because there were 3 books with giant letters that said Hitler on them, and I'm like, someone please call him, tell him to move those books.
Wow.
So,
we had kind of an overreaction at my church because they were wondering whether people would tune in. Turns in they tuned in by huge numbers, but the first week he actually included a villain, a love interest, and a cute neighbor kid. Just to
Oh my God. Oh God.
Wow, can we see your service on Netflix next week?
You want to watch your service on Netflix? Series. All right.
Can you imagine what's going to happen next year in 2020?
Wow. Hey,
there's going to be a bunch of new businesses.
Check what's in that cigar.
There's going to be a bunch of new businesses that come out of this. You know, like Uber and Airbnb. Those are things that came out of 2007 and 2008. Have you thought about that? How to get rich off this thing?
Well, I invested in rotary phones.
Yeah, looked like a good move for you.
We're going back to landline with a cord.
Yeah, the receiver on that phone hasn't been sanitized in 40 years. So that's good luck with that.
Yeah, actually, John, that phone is so old it gave John polio. That's an old phone, Bob Hope.
Holy cow.
Well, Steve, there could be some inventions that come out of this. Do you remember in the 40s they had the rumble seats in the car?
Sure.
Ubers might go to that. That way they're at least 12 feet from their passengers sitting all the way back. I think that I could be rich. I'm going to make that tonight.
Well, you have the time.
Yeah.
When was the last time anybody said to you, what are you doing this weekend? For me, it was February.
Yes, that's right. My God, what's a weekend, by the way?
My brother-in-law calls, whenever he calls, it's like nothing's ever happened. He's the same as he was every day that he's ever called me. Hey, what's going on? Don't you have a TV at home? You don't know what's going on?
Right. Oh, God.
Have you guys run into anybody that's really happy this is going on? Because I've been told there are people who are going, I'm loving this. Trevor Noah from The Daily Show, he has said, now who knows if I don't know Trevor Noah well, but he said, I'm a guy who likes to stay inside. I'm actually loving this. I don't know anybody that loves it, but I got to say, it's as long as I get out a couple of times a day, and by getting out, I mean wash my car every day, 7 days a week. It cost me over $100,000 since the beginning of the month.
And then you're going to have it repainted.
I leave the house, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have not heard that. I have not spoken with anybody that has legitimately told me that they're, that they enjoy this. I think the first couple of weeks I did get a couple of people going, "Oh, this is gonna be okay. This is gonna be good." Now they're just like, "We want it done,"
And with the business, we're still functioning. As cleaners, we're still functioning. We have all these churches that we go into and clean, and I needed a few extra people. And people don't want to work. They would rather sit home and collect their money for now, which I think is kind of bad.
That's a bad
especially because I
system.
need workers.
Yeah, no, that's a bad system. No question about it.
Yeah. By the way, Tim, I'm not available next week.
Yeah, I heard.
I got a check coming.
Now, not that we haven't been riveting, but you guys remember Inside the Actors Studio how they used to end it with Pivo's questions?
Yes.
Oh,
The
sure.
questionnaire that James Lipton would ask. So I've got those questions. I've only changed one of them here, and I dropped a couple off because who knows if this will be entertaining.
Right.
So I'll throw this out. You guys answer these questions. Questions similar to what they did at the end of that show.
Ask John first so I can top his, okay?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's
John,
a
what's
good
your
call.
favorite word?
My favorite, sanctificado.
Kumquat.
What does kumquat mean? Because I know what John's word meant.
If his is a fruit, I'm going to be mad.
My favorite word is actually two words: guaranteed contract. Those are the
Yes. Right. Good call. Good
Yeah.
call, Steve.
Yeah. Let's start with you, Tim. What's your least favorite word?
Only because I can't pronounce it. Sourful. Sorrowful. First of all, it's a bummer, and I can't pronounce it. I always say sour. It just doesn't do it.
It's just an odd thing to have stick in your head, my friend. That's it.
There's a lot of stuff sticking up there.
John, least favorite word?
Least favorite word. I don't know who came up with it. The word pus.
Pus.
Do
It's
people
already
call you that
disgusting.
still?
Can't you
Yeah.
call it, something else? Pus.
Zitleach.
I'll take that.
Yeah. In a similar
about you,
vein,
Steve?
I would go with moist or rash, and if those two are combined, get yourself to a clinic. Back to you, John. Your biggest turn on.
Biggest turn on?
Doesn't have to be sexual. As a matter of fact,
Okay.
Tim and I are hoping it's not.
I hope it's not me.
Legitimately, biggest turn on is watching somebody else be funny.
That's pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
very nice of you, and it's so
That's the truth.
counter to anyone in comedy to say I'm rooting for other people.
I like that.
Yeah. For me, right when I get done cleaning the kitchen, that's a turn on, baby. That's nice. Everything is squeaky clean. Nobody's in there. Everything's in its place. That's kitchen porn.
I'm surprised you guys didn't think of this. I'm going to go with naked women.
Oh, darn.
Tim, what's your biggest turn off?
Naked women. No, oh my God. Negativity.
Negativity.
People who are negative.
Yeah. Hard to believe you and I are friends, I guess.
No, but you're positive about your negativity.
I'm such a shining, upbeat guy type.
John? You're sure things are going to be a disaster.
Yeah, right.
I'm selectively positive. I'm positive about things that I choose to be positive about. It's just not a long list.
No, I think you are.
Yeah.
You're tough on yourself. Go ahead, John.
Do you guys need time or? I would say, what I don't know how to put self-promoting, self-serving, self-promoting. Just, I don't like that.
You mean the what about me people?
It's just mostly about Tim, I'll be honest with you.
Cowards and bullies.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And they often overlap, those two.
Yeah. Some of them are in the White House. What's a noise you love, Tim?
A noise I love. I actually like those big booming fireworks when they do the finale. Those boom, boom, boom. You could actually feel them in your chest. I think adrenaline starts flowing when you hear those. I like that song.
Keeps you alive. John?
It certainly does.
Popcorn.
Clears the
popping.
plaque.
Popcorn pop?
Popcorn popping. Yeah.
Nice.
Old Jiffy Pop kind of sound?
Yeah, that's great. That's a great sound.
How about you,
Again,
Steve?
those are both great. I don't want to judge, but for me, it's the sound of children laughing.
Wow.
Remember I was
Is it
talking about
snowing?
that self-serving thing and that self-promoting?
John, what's a noise you hate?
Oh, God. A noise I hate. Too many pans clinking when you take them out of the cupboard. Yeah, it drives me nuts.
That's interesting. Tim?
I went to Catholic grade school, and the girls wore little skirt uniforms, right? And of course, they wore knee socks. So I'll just say that their legs were bare most of the way down. And then when it get warm outside, and the chairs would get a little bit sweaty, and they would slide. You hear this. I hated that sound more than any other sound.
Very specific.
Well, you asked.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to go with one that you guys haven't mentioned, and that's the sound of someone breaking wind in the same elevator I'm in. Not a fan. Not a fan.
That's a
They're
good
just
one.
vile all the way around. Sound,
good.
scent.
That's good.
Tim, what's a different profession other than comedy that you would love to try?
Glass blowing. Do I have to expound?
No, the glass has to be consenting. We know that part. John, what about you?
Building furniture.
Really?
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Do you have any carpentry talent?
None. I knew the Carpenters. I was a big fan of them. But no, I can't. No. Tim knows.
And Steve,
Tim knows I can't build.
Oh,
no.
no.
But I would love to be able to build something. I think that'd be fun.
His tools actually run away from his home.
That's true.
I've seen it happen.
True.
Steve, how about you?
Well, I think it's obvious. Jockey. Yeah. A lot of people say 6'1" and 275 is too heavy for a jockey. I say, get me a bigger horse.
No.
You call to mind those horses on Stooges where their back
Yes, where
just
they're
sloped
bent.
all
They're
the
Well,
way
it's
down.
funny you mentioned those guys because that's coming up too. But before we get to that, what's a profession, John, you'd never want to try?
Oh golly, a profession I never would like to try. A car salesman. I would never want to be a car salesman.
That's tough. It's tough life.
Yeah.
Now, Tim?
Mover.
Oh,
I
sure.
hate moving my own stuff. Why would I want to move everybody else's stuff?
That's a good point. That's a good
And
one.
everybody else's stuff smells.
Yeah.
I heard.
For me, it would be probably the ballet. The ballet, I don't think I'd want to try that. And by the way,
You got
not
a lot of
because of the
offers
dance,
for
because I
that?
love to dance. It's the outfits. It's the wardrobe.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you know
That's
those
a good
tutus ride up on you like crazy.
Then it makes that sweaty sound.
Right? Which drives Tim crazy. All right, lightning round. John, who's your favorite stooge?
Oh, Larry.
Larry?
Yeah.
Tim?
I like Curly. I like the out there guy.
All right, I'll go with Mo to Block.
Circle gets the fingers to the eyes.
And then the final question is always about heaven. They always put it, if heaven exists, what do you want to hear from God when you get to the pearly gates? Tim?
You're here this weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 2 shows, Friday and Saturday. We'll cover your travel, and you get a steak dinner, and that's it.
John?
So you got to ride in the Tahoe with Steve?
God's jealous of John.
I guess for me, it would be if they looked at me and said, listen, we thought about it. You don't have to explain the 90s after all. So that would be
That's good.
All right. Before we run out of Zoom time, because we haven't paid for any of this, some plugs. None of us are appearing anywhere or doing anything.
We could plug. I think I'm doing the Row but it's going to be pay-per-view, believe it or not. So
You'll let us know.
that's coming up in the end of May.
All right, and you'll be
Raw
on.
Theater in Crystal Lake.
You'll be on Live from My Office, which is what I'll plug in a second to plug that.
Yes.
Tim,
And I will tell you to go to YouTube, go to comedian Tim Benker, and there's videos of myself. There's videos of myself and John together, separate. Some entertaining things that we put together right before all this happened.
And I do a podcast, a mini podcast called Live from My Office every morning, a phone call with somebody you may remember from the old radio show, or somebody you don't know, or somebody I don't know who I just called and they picked up. The full calls on Facebook, and we do little teaser versions on Twitter and LinkedIn, and also on Instagram. But we had a meeting, another one of these Zoom meetings yesterday, about doing it in a bigger way, in a different way. So maybe we'll have an announcement soon about that. Maybe we won't.
Who
All right,
knows?
so thank you guys for doing this. But again, what else would you be doing? It's three friends wasting time together. Would you like to do it again?
Hang on, I got Leopold and Loeb on the line. Hang on.
And would you do this again?
Oh,
Yes.
of course. Let's do it tomorrow because I'm open.
Yeah. No, I'm out. I'm not doing this again. Thanks for watching, and thanks for Zooming. And this is the part everybody hates on Zoom, when people wave goodbye. So let's get it in. Wave.
Bye.
Wave in. Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Steve.
Bye.